Graduates, big up your nice clean selves. Welcome, welcome all to HTK's Live. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to show appreciation to the channel. We're on a Purple Heart mission tonight. Make sure to like up the live, but before we get started, I want you guys to actually share the live. Like the live and share the live. Yeah, man. Like the live and share the live. Hmm. Come here, tell you, you see them people, yeah? These people, hmm, when you are poor and disadvantaged, so many people can get away with things once them have money and you don't. So many people can take advantage and take liberties once them have money and you don't. First of all, as we warm up, let me hail up the people in the classroom. Let me show my face a little bit. Let me hail up the people in the classroom before we go in at this. Kathy, big up yourself. I see you. Sexy Sands, what's up? Sis, Faith Bell, glad to see you here. Judith Bailey, you made it. Good day, good day. Faith Bell, I see you. Island Breeze, big up yourself. You checked in. I like that. Always mark yourself present on the register. Sister Yvette, big up yourself. Donna Lawrence, big up yourself. Foxy Ann, big up yourself. You want to see a refresh YouTube. I can understand. Yeah, man. I can understand, my love. Big up yourself, Mrs. Norma Wagwan, Lady Keish. Good afternoon. How are you doing? I am going to set the subscribers only settings um, in terms of comments. So if you are not subscribed to the channel, you're not going to be able to comment. So please make sure that you hit that subscribe button. All right. Um, let's see. Bayesian girl, big up yourself. I see you. Gal so nice, big up yourself. And as my admins say, welcome to the live. Please like up the live as soon as you come on. And Boo, big up yourself. I see you. Thank you so much for dropping all those purple hearts because this is what it's all about, you know. Arlene Millwood, big up yourself. Andreen Ferguson, big up yourself. I see you. J for J, indeed. And J for V2, justice for all victims when it comes to children. Andrea Stewart, big up yourself. Christine H, I see you. Raquel Williamson, big up yourself. Andre Stewart, big up yourself. Kathy Wallace, blessings. Blessings in abundance. Look. Me I really like to know how them pull off this. How them pull off this, I don't know how them pull this off and get away with it. But you see, Jamaica, we have too much slackness going on. I'm gonna hide my face so that you can see this lady. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. Let me pull up our picture. And I want you to see this lady on my screen, right? Now, first of all, this story came to me randomly, okay? But it came to me from a very dear source. The sister who sent this to me is a friend, right, on social media. And she sent this to me with a heavy heart. I'm going to play the voice notes so that you can hear what I heard and why it is that I decided to do this story. So, hold on a second. There she is. See this lady on the screen? Her name is Karen Lancaster. She come from Southside. Yeah. See how beautiful she is? See her little China looking item? Yeah. She had a woolly heap of hair upon her head. Very beautiful woman. You see this lady? She's a mother of 6. And as I said, the sister that sent me this story, because you know, say not every story me follow, sent me a clip with another beautiful teenage girl and dancehall queen Carlene. So me say, yeah, them daughter don't it. Beenie Man and Dancehall Queen Carlene daughter. And she said to me, no, HDK, I know her daughter. And I said, what you mean by that? She said, no, I know her daughter. The mother named Karen. And she come from Southside. And this lady telling me that she not only know this for a fact, she and Karen were friends. So I'm gonna play the voice notes. Of course, you know how I do. To protect people's identities, I distort the voices so that they are not recognizable. Okay? But the stories are real, and I want you to listen to what I heard when she contacted me. Okay? Let me just take my face off the screen so y'all can hear for yourself and keep Karen in your visual. May she rest in peace.
Girl, she's not Carlene's biological child. Her mother's name is Karen. She comes from Southside. That is where I was living before I migrated. Karen is a girl who used to go around and help people, so I was one of them that was helping her with this child. The day in question, I went to look for her and found her in the corner sitting with the baby. The baby wasn't even 2 weeks, and I corresponded with her and thing, and Carlene drove up and asked her if she can get that pretty little baby. Can I get her to give her to my sister, Pinky? Pinky had just lost a baby. You understand? And I made arrangement that Carlene spokesperson for courts. Carlene went to courts and bring fridge, TV, everything you could think of and give it to Karen and Karen handed over the baby to her. After a couple of years, we started to hear she started to say she have the child for Beenie Man. Beenie Man could never own that child. Beenie Man was on tour in England and Carlene was in a relationship with a guy from down here by the name of Bali. You understand? You can check the story when check right out. It is not Carlene child or Beenie Man child. I have known this story for years. Years. But because I'm getting up in age, I'm leaning back to God. And I want to turn a Christian and I say, every time I see this girl on the media and them say it's calling, I just want to talk about it. And I just scared to talk about it and I just leave it alone. That child, a teacher can swear on my life. It's not Carlene child and it's not Beenie Man child. I know the mother and I know the father. The mother died 2013. Just look at the picture of the little girl and her mother and look at the resemblance. She don't look like Beenie Man and she don't look like Carly. She is a dead resemblance of her mother. The more I grow, she grow because I know her mother. I see her mother in her. She look like her mother. One time someone burst the story over Instagram. It was before TikTok. And that time Carlene was still Karen was still alive. And Carlene came back to Southside and found Karen and threatened Karen. So if she talk, she was saying, man, come analyze her. And Karen have to finish her with Karen got in contact with Gleena. And when Gleena came to the interview, Karen never talked because she didn't want to die. It is how evil. I tell you, I can't swear on my life. I always, Karen is a girl to come and she'll help you do this and she'll go shop for you and you pay her. So I know Karen and that is what Carlene did. And I'm not lying. I swear on my life, a teacher cannot lie. Friend.
I want
So
to
if she talk,
listen
she was
to
saying,
I want to listen to I want to listen to the first part of the voice note again, right? About how the situation began.
well, getting into the story about this little girl. She's not Carlene's biological child. Her mother's name is Karen. She comes from Southside. That is where I was living before I migrated. Karen is a girl who used to go around and help people, so I was one of them that was helping her with this child. The day in question, I went to look for her and found her in the corner sitting with the baby. The baby wasn't even 2 weeks, and I corresponded with her and thing, and Carlene drove up and asked her if she can get that pretty little baby. Can I get her to give her to my sister?
So she approached Karen and asked Karen if she can get that pretty little baby to give to her sister Pinky. Pinky, who had lost her baby at the time. So allegedly, when Carlene approached Karen, it wasn't for herself. It was for her sister who has now passed. Right? Okay. Listen again.
Pinky had just lost a baby. Understand? And they made arrangement that Carlene was spokesperson for courts. Carlene went to courts and bring fridge, TV, everything you could think of and give it to Karen and Karen handed it over the baby to her.
So, in exchange for material goods, allegedly, this baby was handed over in exchange for bed, stove, fridge, furniture, while Carlene was representing courts. So you tell me if that isn't child trafficking. Una answer this question for me in the chat. Not purchasing of, or isn't that purchasing of a child? Isn't that buying a baby? Hmm? In exchange for material things from courts. Is this the legal procedure for adopting a child? I'm going to show you what the legal procedure is, and I'm also going to show you what should have happened and what was claimed by Beenie Man and by Carlene, and what others are now coming out and saying online. Because we're sick and tired of things like this happening around children, and because it is happening around the child of a woman who was poor, not very educated, had multiple kids, it just goes away. Hmm? It just goes away because nobody can tell me that the story add up, because I have never seen a picture of Dancehall Queen Carlene pregnant. Hmm. Big up yourself, chocolate and vanilla. I have never seen a picture of Dancehall Queen Carlene pregnant. But I'm going to show you what I have seen. Hold on. We're going to go to an article where Dancehall Queen Carlene is celebrating a special mother daughter connection. All right. Let's take a look at it. And we're going to read it together. I'm going to show you how the story and the narrative has been spun for the public, right, to absorb. But we're going to go into it. Okay. All right. So here is something that I found on Press Reader, which describes the special mother daughter connection. And I'm going to read it to you because in this article that was written by the Jamaica Gleaner on the 4th of May 2022, she describes her pregnancy and what took place. So listen, a mother's treasure is her daughter. That's a sentiment that resonates in the minds and hearts of the mother daughter duo, Carlene Smith and the young lady's name. I am trying to be discreet, people, by not bawling out that little girl name because this has nothing to do with her. Davis, who considers Smith her very best friend, would agree that her mother is her greatest treasure as well. 23 years ago, life as this dancehall queen knew it changed for the better. So she's no longer a minor. She's 23 years old in this article in 2022. So now she's well in her 20s. All right. Life as this dancehall queen knew it changed for the better the moment her bundle of joy, who she named young lady name, entered the world. As a nervous first time mother, Smith explained that the pregnancy road, while paved with good intentions, was rockier than she would have imagined. She claimed she had morning sickness throughout the day. Then she met in a car accident and had to have a C-section, she told Flair. But everything changed when she finally got to hold Crystal. She had to spend some time in the incubator. So finally getting to hold her for the first time was awesome. I had created a life, and that was awesome, she revealed. Months into her new role, Smith's maternal instincts kicked in after fully grasping the responsibilities. Noting that she has always been motherly to other children, this experience was different. There was no return to parents. Crystal was her word. I never mean for call her name. And she showed that leadership role with great pride and joy. As the baby girl grew into her own, so did her love for her daughter. In quotes. She couldn't help but notice that they began sharing similar interests, a fondness of movies, music, same type of food, passion for fashion. They even walked alike. Look at this child. Look at her. Hmm? Look at her. Let me see if I can pull up the mother picture in the same breath. Can you guys see the two pictures? I'm gonna try put it side by side. Look on that. Let me see if you guys can see what I see. Hold on, I need to check if you guys can see what I see. Hold on. I don't know if you guys can see the actual picture as well. I'm trying to put it up at the same time as this. I'm gonna look on my YouTube on my phone. See if you guys can see what I see. Because sometimes when you don't share both tabs at the same time, that's what happens. So hold on. Let me see if you guys can see the comparative. No, you can't see the comparative. You can't see it. But if I take my face off, maybe you can see it in the background. So I'm gonna come off and then put the background back on, and then probably you should be able to see it then. So let me hide myself. Let me split the screen, right? It not gonna let me. It won't let me at all. It won't let me show you guys because I really wanted you guys to see the comparison between this girl and this mother at the same time. But an Naga can't see unless me stop the share for a minute and make you guys look at my screen here and look at this little girl. Because may I tell you, said them are the splitting image. Give me 1 second. May I go just do this. May I go do this? Hold on. Come here, go on like some men are graphic artist. 1 sec. 1 sec, guys. Hold on. Let me just angle the bangle. Because I'm going to put them side by side. Let me angle the bangle and put them side by side for now. I'm going to make on a see for yourself. Right. So there's that. Hold on. We're going to the article now. And then you're going to have a comparison. And you tell me who she favor. Because she definitely don't favor. She don't favor Carlene at all. She no favor Carlene at all, at all, at all, at all. She no favor Carlene. Hold on there. Hold on, people. You're gonna see her in a minute. Just bear with me. Alright, I hit this. Yeah. Make it nice and big. File. Save. Put it on my desktop. Compare. Bam. Shut that down. Open up that. Desktop. One time. And now share screen. Now wanna look pan this. Look pan that. Look at look at that. Look at this lady. Look at the young lady. And look at this woman's face. Hmm. Mighty God of Daniel. What splitting image, man? Look at splitting image. I don't think you could ever. This are literally hot to fit. How much they resemble. Now let me tell you this. I am not about to say that Carlene and Beenie Man have not done an amazing job looking after this little girl until she's now a young lady. I am not going to say that. Nor am I going to say that Carlene was a terrible mother to her. Never, none of that. None of that applies. This is not about left versus right. This is not about whether or not she would have had a better life. Come and say that a holy power go run out say no. So why you would have rather she left her down there? In a south side, you would have rather that? Hmm? You'd have rather left her down there and she suffer? Because that the mother that probably couldn't manage. Is that the point? So you're trying to tell me that poor people can't love them picnic? You're trying to tell me that you can just go down to any ghetto, any garrison, and just see a mother who is vulnerable. That baby was barely 6 weeks old. Barely 6 weeks old. Right? Around there. Let me just put this user out. Block. Off you get. Off you get. Uh-huh. Off you get. What a way this individual is all heated and angry. Why are you so heated and angry? Why are you so heated and angry? Hmm? Because it look like say you are must say Dancehall Queen Carlene. Eh? Why are you so heated and angry? And this is the thing. This is why it remains hidden. Because according to the voice notes that I received, the mother received threats. Received threats. Now, if you think that this is just about content, this is not one of my highest viewing lives. So you sit yourself right down. I'm not even going to cuss you. I just going to block you. And as a matter of fact, I haven't even put on the thing. Let me put it on. Come in, want none of these people with their jiggy fingers getting involved in class. This is not a class for Uno. No, because some of Uno don't want the right from the wrong. No, Uno just wants to just hide things and allow people to take advantage of poor people. So it is okay for a child to be bought with furniture. Is that you're saying? Hmm? What about signing adoption papers? Was that even done? Was that even done? Yeah, upset bad. Them me not tell you say I must she are one of our people them. Let me just go over here so go deal with this. Hold on 1 second, cause them two little bit enough are ups. Two little bit enough are ups. We not have no time for them people. We no can't come over here and intimidate nobody. Nobody. Because we're not gonna stop until this information is out. And you see, if you come here run your mouth, it's not gonna be a 1 day talk. It's gonna be a 9 day talk and longer. But you come up here can interfere rather than letting the story out and let the story be told. This lady's story deserves to be told as the mother of that child, right? Deserves to be told as the mother of that child. And I genuinely believe that something happened that was not okay. It is an injustice because that's not how adoptions work. And if we are to facilitate illegal adoptions in our country, you are also pro child trafficking. You are also pro child slavery because at the end of the day, anybody with some money can just come down in at the garrison and collect picnic and leave with it. That's not how it works. We have legislations and laws for a reason. And it is about making sure that there are background checks, safeguarding checks, and also that the mother is fit and well enough to sign over her rights for her child. Yeah, yeah. So hold on there. Let me just shut them up a minute. Because me know say The trolls them was going to run out and enough one them was going to run out. You understand? In case you do not know what this channel is all about, this is the Purple Heart Movement channel. And over here, we deal with justice for all victims that are children. You hear? So if you think that this is just for views, you think that this is one of my popular story, them, you need to go check the stats, my love. Yeah? This ain't. But I am doing this because I believe this mother's voice, this mother's story should not be silenced. And if it is that that's what you're about, you're going to find that this is not the channel for you. I don't deal with dunces. And when I said dunces, me not talk about people when I go to school. Me I talk about people who shut them mind and them eyes to the things that are going on in the world just because of fear or just because they're too ignorant to find out the truth. Right. So now, uno definitely go keep on fingers because it's no subscribers only. Subscribers only. Okay. And we're gonna make sure that it's subscribers for let me put a certain amount of hours. Hold on, let me change that. Have it for that. That is it. Good. No more uno. No too enough. Me put it on, man. Do we know where the biological father is? So I'm gonna tell you what I am aware of. The biological father, as far as I'm aware, has died. Yes. Both mother and father have died in 2013. Now, if you listened to the voice note that I played earlier, when the information initially went out, the story first burst on Instagram, most probably over Pinkwall, no doubt. And when the story burst, the Jamaica Gleaner was trying to investigate it and arranged to have an interview with Karen. Now, because they did not want the story out, because no doubt they realized that they were doing things the illegal way, or them never want people to know, say, the child was taken. They went allegedly down to Southside and allegedly threatened the lady's life. Now, on that basis of fear, she went in. She never bothered with the interview. She went silent. Now, I am addressing this because illegal adoptions is something that does happen in our nation. And many children end up in precarious situations where they may not necessarily be as well looked after as this young lady here. It may be the case that, because hello, me are not the first one for bust the story, so I don't know why una nyam up on herself. This story has been out. It has been out. You understand? So don't come over here and make any noise. Go on over Pinkwall where it first bus and go on over on TikTok where they go viral as we speak. This is not the first. It has come out and it will not be the last. But the thing is that nobody is paying attention. We're all looking at it as gossip and, hearsay and blah, blah, blah. But it isn't. The people who have come to me are people who are residents of Southside, residents who grow with these people and so are gone, right? And their distress is that one, it wasn't handled properly. Two, a series of lies are being told about the origin of the child. Why does a series of lies have to be told in order to cover up the connection with this biological mother? Hmm? I'm well aware of that. I'm well aware of that. The angel herself actually blast being an absentee father, though. So as far as I'm aware, this man has a habit of hit and run. You understand? So I think I just she. I think that is just his habit, right? But there is an interview that he did. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. There is an interview that he did where he blatantly told lies about how the child came into existence. So let's have a look. Because I do not believe that competency was done. You have to do competency when you are adopting a child. The legal procedure is that the parent, or the existing parent, or the parents who want to give up the child, they have to be assessed. They have to be interviewed and assessed and found competent and in control of their faculties so that they can say, yes, they have made a conscious decision to hand over their baby. You cannot adopt a child from a vulnerable mother, right? You cannot adopt a child from a mother who is unaware of her legislative rights. Nobody there to represent her, no legal body there to safeguard her. A vulnerable mother because she has had other children. She had six in all. And then you go and you take her in a 6 weeks, barely 6 weeks old baby. You know that baby, she could be going through her depression. Hmm? Postpartum depression at that time. Would that have been a right time? Right? So somebody asked a good question. Seriously though, if both biological parents are deceased, who benefits from this and who will have their heart broken? Let me tell you something. Um, the persons who benefit from this are this young lady's siblings. Yeah? This young lady's siblings who are crying out for justice because they believe that their sibling has been disconnected from them and done so in an unjust way. There is a whole other family that is completely missing from the picture and being made to be isolated away from this child. You understand? So, how can there be a heartbreak, really? There can't be much of a heartbreak when this story has already hit the headlines. Because, trust me, she would have had to have dealt with it from before. So, any heartbreak would have happened at the initial break of the story, as far as I'm concerned. Um, Let me see this now. So allegedly, the mother couldn't read or write. Okay. And because she couldn't read or write, she would not have been in a position to even understand documentation without mediation. She would not have been in a position to get herself, to make herself aware of all of the legislations and her own rights as a mother. So it was done out of complete ignorance and without any legal representation for her, nor any correct assessments. Now, regardless, you cannot have such corruption going on in the island and nobody challenges it. You hear? You cannot have that. Somebody has got to put a stop to situations like this where we have people able to just go and take a child. It shouldn't happen. You understand? Now, it is alleged that this ex dancehall queen used to be involved with some bad man. Me not call him name on my platform. And because of that, the risk of getting slapped was very high. You understand? And so when Karen received the threat, it was a very real threat. Now, at this point, both parents are deceased. And it would be an even easier transition into adoption at this stage of the game from 2013 when the mother passed. And I don't know what year the father passed, but I suspect the father passed before. Um, Somebody's asking how did they die? They were both ill, and that's all I'm prepared to say. The young lady and her real family will benefit. Thank you. Right? Can't a DNA be done to determine who are the parents if the child so desires? If the child so desires, exactly. Well, she's no longer a child. If the young lady now desires, she can ask for something like that. No wonder Jamaica have so much missing children. Exactly. And this is the thing, we set the precedent that people can just come down in a ghetto and just take picnic and cut. Right? Just imagine how much fraud is behind that, though. How much falsification of documentation if things were not signed. Now, mind you, she was sitting down on the corner, and this woman just turned up and said, "What a pretty baby." And she wanted the baby for her sister. But we all know that that sister has passed. And that baby never ended up with that sister. That baby ended up with her, right? In exchange, she provided her with material gifts. That's a silencing, right? It's a barter. And that's not what we do with babies. So while it is that, yeah, okay, people might be thinking, God, no, but if this blow up, it not gonna blow up. Well, it's already blown up anyway. I'm not the only blogger. Maybe I'm the only blogger you guys watch, but you need to pay attention. It is happening all over, right? So, yeah, because of that threat, she had to go in because she was prepared then to fight for her rights as a mother. Because remember, said she never expects that the baby was going to end up with Dancehall Queen Carlene. She thought it was going to end up with the baby was going to end up with Pinky, and that never happened. It ended up with Dancehall Queen Carlene. So isn't that a duping of that mother? Of course it is. If even she did fall into the trap, but she fall into the trap for that lady. She never expects that the baby are gonna end up with the baby. So that is a deception. You understand? But why was she taken? Because Dancehall Queen Carlene, right, was struggling with her childbirth issues. Plus, she had lost another child that she had adopted. Let me show you a story. Hold on. Let me show you a story. I'm going to show you a story. Hold on. Because in this story here, she explains what happened prior um to the arrival of this child. Okay, so hold on 1 second. Because when many people, this little girl is not abused. This little girl is not being treated badly. She's well looked after and well loved. I don't want people to confuse the issue because it's got nothing to do with that. She is well loved, right? Okay. So don't get it twisted that it's about that. It is about the fact that there was a mother involved here whose child was taken and she almost had no choice in the matter at all. She had absolutely no choice in the matter. Hold on. There we go. Take a look. All right. Can we see that? Can we see that? So in part 2 of Real Talk, Dancehall Queen Carlene told us she adopted a little girl before having one of her own. She said it was a nightmare. Here's why. They took her back from me because they wanted money and the courts told me I shouldn't pay. But because of who I was at the time, they were fighting it. She, the little girl, was killed in 2010 by gunmen. I buried her because they unalived her parents the year before. She wasn't even 15 years old when they took her life. I was distraught. I lost 15 pounds just thinking about it. Would she ever get back with, and then, it carries on. So this is like a part of the story that was told. So she is saying that she had adopted a little girl before having one of her own. She came up with this whole story. I don't know if the story is true. I don't recall this story, right? But she's saying that that little girl that she had in 2010 that she had adopted was taken by gunmen. So she herself was desperate for a child. This is what I'm picking up about it. After going through that depression, she probably did see that baby and fall in love with that child. And, to fill that void, she took another woman's child that she thought, well, look on her, she not had nothing. She can't manage. We can manage. We've got the money. We've got the security. So there is no reason for her to have to go through raising yet another child in poverty when we can have that child for ourselves. And it will help to heal me. So these are the kind of things that no doubt would have been going through Carlene's mind. So let's not get it twisted. It's not about whether or not she loved the child, but was it done in the right way? Was it a just act? Because you could have still adopted that child and gone through the process, gone through the legal process. People for just take bad up for them pitney. And the fact that she was willing to actually fight it. She was willing to actually fight it. She has no child of her own. No, Rowena. She does not. She does not. There is no, there is absolutely no confirmation of this woman's pregnancy. None. Only do have no proof of it. Scour the internet from top to bottom, other than what was told to you. Yeah? She was in an incubator in America, according to Beenie Man. So yeah, that may I try fine. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let me try and find this clip. I want you guys to listen to this. Listen to how they explained it, right? Listen to how they explained it.
All that. 16 years. Long time. Long time. Here, she's not wanted of anything, especially love, so I don't care.
So you see how she averted that whole discussion about whether or not she was pregnant? Instantly it was like, I don't care, she's got everything that she ever wanted. Yes, she does. She had everything and she does still have everything. This is not the debate. I am never gonna take that away from Carlene and Beenie Man, right? All right.
Say Beenie Man loves her, and so do I. Since you win credit, I should have followed that to prove and prove and prove. What would I be proving? You
Yeah. So you can't prove it, though. There's not one single picture of you with a belly, not one single picture of you even posting something to say, oh my God, it's finally happened for us. Not one thing. You've created this whole scenario, car accident. Maybe you did have one, and maybe it was opportune, right? That you could refer to it. But you come up with this whole scenario about C section when the baby in a incubator. Number one, I want to listen carefully to what Beanie Man say, Because Beanie Man express how long the baby in an incubator for me. Never know said this could have happened ever. I want to listen to it.
do I need to put my clothes on and show my C-section? What am I supposed to prove? She's mine. I love her and she loves me. She does more me, eh? Because she have my complexion. I don't know it. As I say, see when your jeans strong, your jeans strong.
So he's claiming his genes is strong, that she has his complexion, right? Then
She there.
listen enough. She had China when she pregnant.
So when baby I get born premature now, fly to America, have a charter plane from America, carry her to Jamaica. She there hospital.
So first we hear there was an accident. Listen enough. And she had to be rushed to hospital. We read it in the article. She had to be rushed to hospital to get a C-section. Now, he must say, she there China and baby come premature. So where the accident gone? Una listening? Where the accident gone? Hold on there.
She have children in her lungs and she have to go to America.
So he's speaking about the fact that she was premature. She had, underdeveloped lungs. She have to travel to America. She have to go do this. So in the article we read, says she had an accident and the baby had to come early and then ended up in an incubator. Now we are hearing that she was in China. The discrepancies in the story. Graduates, are you not hearing the discrepancies in the story? The story is straight, Tono? Because it's not straight to me at all.
So, all of this struggle we go through, and for the writer so now 16 car. One doctor says she now live past 3. When she pass 3, next doctor says she now live past 6. When she pass 6, next doctor say if she lives in 12, she lucky. When she had 12 how long is it?
Listen. Mega just pull up to that part then. Listen now, listen.
She and Tracy, but the lunch and coffee thing. So when baby I get born premature now,
Huh.
charter plane from
Did you hear anything mentioned about a car accident? Anything at all? Anything mentioned about a car accident? So you had to your child was coming premature and you could not have baby in a Jamaica. You have to charter a plane and send your woman outside of the country to have the baby. Really no. Really no. It's not adding up. I'm sorry. In emergency situations like that, who would authorize flying? Which irresponsible medical doctor is going to authorize flying under such circumstances? I absolutely wonder. I absolutely wonder which individual would have authorized that with a baby was so listen, when you're having those kind of births, premature births, listen, you're so delicate. The way the doctor why you stay by your back and don't move. Hmm? Much less we end up in a chartered flight for go all the way a France for go have baby. When the baby a come. So hold on there. You fly from China go I never afraid. This makes sense. It not make no sense to me. It don't make no sense to me at all. I mean no say me no confused. You understand? And when me go in at the article, eh? When me go in at the article, well I know. Me just come and want people think say I lie me I tell you no. Because fear story and theme story no match a blouse and skirt. Let's look on this. Look on this story yes so. What does it say? Quite clearly. Me try blow it up some more. It was zoom. I know one we can zoom. But I want you to look. I'm going to do this. Watch. I'm gonna do this if I can. Where I'm moving my mouse. Look yes so. I had morning sickness throughout the day. Then I met in a car accident and had to have a C-section. Yeah? This is what she's saying here. So you're trying to tell me that in Beenie Man's story of how wonderful it was to end up with this child, how amazing it was to have this baby. You never mentioned, say, that we almost lost her in an accident. That even an accident she survived. That would have been an essential part of that story. Don't you see it? Hmm? It don't make no sense.
Jamaica. So later, she never born in her lungs. And she have tube in her lungs and she have to go to America to get operation every year. So struggle we go through. After she get right so now 16 car. One doctor says she now live past 3. When she pass 3, next doctor says she now live past 6. When she pass 6, next doctor say if she lives in 12.
No, no. So all of this, now live past this, now live past that. And you not mention nothing about no accident that led to the C-section. No, sir. Something is wrong with this story. Something is very wrong with this story. I'm telling you guys that it is clear to me that there is a shifting of narrative between Carlene and Beenie Man. Right? Did the story make the Jamaican news? Nope. It not make the news. It up on the street, but it not make the news. It not make the news. These people know how to cover their stuff up. Make which kind of news? Make which kind of news? It never make no news at all. Right? You even have Beanie Man's ex manager or co-worker on TikTok attack the things them so that when him was drunk, him actually confessed to him and say that listen, he told him that that baby is not theirs, right? And then let me ask you this: incubation for 9 months, 9 months. So what am I trying to say? That a baby there. That a baby there. That baby there born what? She hey people. It doesn't happen like that. You understand? It does not happen like that. They're implying that the baby was born in America premature and in incubation for 9 months. And you not charter a plane from America to Jamaica after she born. No American doctor. Now gonna make that baby leave that hospital, much less the country if they're not fit to do so. This is a comment that was made by Julie Lifestyle, right? On TikTok. And I need you guys to head over to this page if you don't want some in-depth information and see what the comments are saying. I want you to head over to this page because this page represents that community. A lot of people from Southside are clamoring for justice on behalf of Karen Lancaster because so much has been ignored where she's concerned. She hasn't been given her rightful place as the mother of the child. She's been ignored. The siblings don't matter. You understand? Them now look nothing, you know. By the way, they have messaged and said to me, make sure it's clear so we don't want nothing from them. Nothing at all. Right? We want nothing from them. But our mother was disregarded, was used, and our sibling taken without any recognition of their rights, of the mother's rights. Plus, the mother was threatened on top of it when she wanted to reclaim her rightful position as the mother of that child. You understand? So, when you think about things like that, they also have a right to have their voices heard and their story told, whether you like it or not. You understand? So, let me take a look. I'm going to show you the page, right? I want you guys to follow this page on TikTok. Yeah, it's called leisure time underscore more. And it's on TikTok. It's got a legally blonde picture up here. Yeah, just over 3K followers. If you look, you will see lots of evidence that one, everybody's talking about this. Two, that the family wants this information out, right? There is no evidence of pregnancy. There's no pregnancy picture at all. Well, this is the age of internet, so they can't, yeah, do it now. So where's the pictures of the baby in the incubator? Where's the happy couple pictures of baby in USA? Exactly. All of those things would have been documented. Is that like a picture never did I take? See picture there? That I want old picture in the 90s there, right? There is nothing there that would have stopped them from having pictures of that child. Yeah, see the mother there with the baby. You understand? So it's about them I use badness for stop the people them from having their own rights. Just think about it. Think about who Carlene was with. A two Dan she did there with, and a one Dan, Me not call them name. But on a one Dan, she did there with a more than one Dan she did there with. So when you have somebody who is connected to Badman like that, You have to be careful. And the information have to hide. But this woman is now not resting in peace because this information has just been squashed every time. And she's been cast aside like she's nobody. Remember, at the time, every man did want a piece of Carlene. She was hot number. She was uptown browning in a dancehall outfit and a wine up herself. So a lot of men were trying. She was considered highly desirable. But the one thing that Carlene could not do, that she really wanted to, was to mother biologically. There is no evidence of it. And the only way she can come out here and prove that is to bring evidence, and she never will. She's always looking at you see how she responded? She go, who am I proving it to? What do I have to prove? Blah blah blah. I'm sorry. If somebody tell me say my opinion of mine, may I prove that? Because that's my child. You understand? That would be my way of squashing all of the rumors. But you see, this will open up a whole can of worms. It's more than just about the fact that this mother did not go through due processes when it comes to adoption. It's also the fact that um papers would have had to have been falsified. You hear? So it's gonna open up a whole can of worms. Not just that. A whole can of worms when it comes to tracking backwards to where this child came from. When it comes to the adoption order in Jamaica, there is a whole process when it comes to taking a child from somebody who is either a relative or a friend, which would qualify in this case because you're not taking a child from the children's home. It can take up to 7 years for that process to be finished. Any child that's adopted has to be over 6 weeks old, but under 18 years old, right? But as much as anybody who can adopt the child um, has to be 25 years old or over, they can be single, they can be married, right? They can be either choosing to take the child to live in Jamaica or take the child to live abroad. All of that can happen. But there are things that happens in the early stages. When it comes to how CPFSA deal with things, first of all, you get a response within about 4 to 6 weeks from the CPFSA after you filled out an adoption form. Now, once you've done that, and you put the ball in motion, there has to be some information provided that will aid in the investigation. How do you know the mother of the child? How did you connect with the child? What kind of conversation has been had? There's going to be a lot of interrogation. What is the situation and circumstance of the mother or the father? Why it is that this child cannot stay with them? Does this child have siblings? So if you are adopting this child, then why are we leaving the siblings behind? What is going on? Why just this child? All of these kind of things. And a caseworker is then assigned to the situation, right? And arrangements would be made for an officer to visit the home and check to determine the suitability. So they'll come and visit the home where the baby is going to, as well as interview the parent, in this case, the mother. You understand? So there was much there that did not follow due processes. Because if that was the case and all of this would happen, you think the family would have anything to say? Paperwork would have did it. Paperwork would be there. Because she would have had to have signed over her parental rights. And documents would have been in order to show that the adoption is legal. Where the adoption is not legal, we are looking at child trafficking. Moving a child from one place, from its original place, to that's trafficking. You think that because it's just in the island, it's still not trafficking? That's still trafficking. So if this situation happened, this is a serious crime, and you may not like it, but it's a fact. It's a fact. And it is an injustice, right? You cannot go around buying babies with furniture. You can't do that. The man she was visiting is a very kind dealer and not a bad man. He was loved by both the green and orange people back then. Okay, thank you. And yeah, I think that's okay. So why don't she and Beanie do DNA now to prove the story is wrong? Nothing hard in that to clear your name. That will never happen. I hope they told her the truth. Well, the internet told her the truth. It's been out. So where's the pictures of baby in incubator? Yeah, we already read that one. Did the year 2025, the year of judgment and exposes? Yes. All this needs is DNA. She might as well tell the child the truth. They may choose to take a DNA. This lady looked like a little girl that Carlene give to Beanie Man. Yeah, that are the mother. That is the biological mother of the child. You understand? And the way the thing presented to me and the information and how it a check out, me not even really gonna say allegedly. You understand? Me not gonna say allegedly. I am mad at that. That is the mother. And people were eyewitness. They were present. They saw when that baby was taken. So how are they not being held to account? Why is it that things like these are not being investigated? Because there is nothing wrong with her adopting a child from them, but follow due process now. And then if that mother changes her mind, which she has the right to do, if she wishes to declare that she is the mother, which she has the right to do because she was not made to sign anything until after one to come and threaten her, then she should have been given the rights that she deserves. She's the one who carried that baby for 9 months and brought it into the world, right? Can't take advantage of people's vulnerability like that. You can't do that. You cannot do that just to make yourself look like your womb is happy. Yeah? Sound like some single white female shit. Um, what would the siblings have to gain by making up this story if it wasn't true? Thank you, nurse. Thank you. They would have nothing to gain. What is the point? And when I tell you, say, because I think a sister had been writing up on the TikTok there, and when I go in at the TikTok and look on the sister, me say the child is like say this child and the sister them coming like them a twin. Them coming like them a twin. But you know something? There is something else, because this is the kind of thing that can lead to all kind of genetic mishaps where she ends up meeting somebody thinking that that person is a complete stranger and get involved in a relationship only to find that is a relative. These are the kind of things that can happen when you hide these kind of stories. Yeah. So it's best that there is an awareness and a knowledge right across the board and that there are no lies being told. But like I said, I am not the first to burst the story. No. And I'm not the second or the third. It has been burst many times before me talk about it. So in case you are wondering whether or not it reached the lad, what if the little girl no know and now she a go find out? No, she already know. It already hit. A long time this come out. It already hits and now it a run up and down rampant all over TikTok. I am just bringing you the story because it is already out there, right? So somebody in RGD make up a birth certificate. Ah, Kerry. Let me tell you some money talk. That is it. Somebody palm get grease, paperwork drop, birth certificate done. Ain't nobody can say that that's not a legal birth certificate if it's got all the right coding attached to it. You understand? So somebody got paid. And when you have the birth certificate, then it's over, innit? Because everything has fall into place. Your TR and your passport, everything has fall into place. Right? So I'm just saying to you people that this is not the first time, but this is the first time we're putting it all together. right? So let me just make sure I'm not missing out on any of the key information that I was told, right? So, you know, the sisters of the little girl are saying they don't want anything from her. They are tired of the lies that are being told over the years that she gave birth and she didn't. Just tell the truth. You took the baby because you were a celebrity and that's it. Beanie Man was not even present, and Don at the time didn't own the child. But I guess Beanie Man is the one who is the vulnerable baby father. So, really and truly, it is about making sure that their mother's truth is told. And yes, they need to be represented too. It's not just about the rich and the popular. And as far as I'm concerned, the only thing that Beanie Man did wrong was cover up for his baby mother's wrongs. You understand? Rather than get things done the right way. But the person who sounds like the chief executor of this entire act is Carlene. She's the one where go down inner Southside, approach Karen, did what she did, presented her with things from courts, take the baby, silence the mother, and threaten her. She was the one who was the person who was behind that, not Beanie. You understand? But Beanie carried on the wrong by covering it up, probably because he loves the child. And when you really think about it, they all love the child. And that is a wonderful thing. She has been given a better opportunity in life. That is fine. But the way it was done and the disregard for the mother is not okay. It isn't okay at all. We wouldn't have these adoption rules if it was normal for people to just go and take somebody's kid. Is she going to be charged? Not at this stage. I doubt very much unless the one of the sisters decide that they want to take something up against them. That's going to be very costly. You understand? I don't know if they're necessarily in a position to do that, but I don't think it's an impossible thing to be done, especially given that there are witnesses. But you see, in a Jamaica, nobody now go come out in a no legal setting and come talk up the things them because of fear. Jamaica is a very dangerous place these days when you say too much. People will put a bounty on your head. You understand? And they don't want to be in that situation. You see, because me there's some in a plan for go Jamaica for a long time. Me can talk. Right? But they will probably be less likely to do that. Yeah, should probably be less likely to speak out. So, and with the passing of both parents, well, it's almost like a done deal. But of course, you know that the DNA can be done through the sisters, right? The DNA of the sisters can be used to compare to her in order to see whether or not that child is related. Remember her sister that died, the other that she said was very dear and close to her, that very telling. Maybe Carlene tricked Beanie. She's pregnant in the first place. Scamming. No, I would have agreed with that. But then I saw a comment that was made by his ex manager. And that comment that was made was that when Beanie was drunk, he confessed that the child was not theirs. So that has thrown a spoke in the wheel. I don't know if I should believe that he was given a jacket at this stage. It's questionable. You understand? It is questionable. But yeah, she had six girls. She had six girls. And all of these children that grew into adults have a right to know their sibling. There's no reason when, especially when their sister was allegedly taken in a very threatening manner. That's not all right. One can't look on things like that and say, well, She have money now and she comfortable, so they don't. No. So poor people no love. Poor mothers don't love their kids. Eh? And even if she had the willingness and the desire for her child to go on to a better place and be looked after, shouldn't she have made that decision in full knowing of what was going to happen and not be told that the baby was going to the sister instead? Hmm? And shouldn't she have had some kind of counseling in preparation for giving up her baby, and baby was so young, barely 6 weeks? It makes sense, Tono. Is the child Beenie Man's? Allegedly, no. You understand? Allegedly, no. But honestly, I'm going to say definitely not Carlene's. A Karen baby. You understand? That may I say. And how they're going on about how the baby was sickly. Now, according to my informant here, the baby was never sick. The baby was beautiful, looked like a Chinese, right? And at the time, the baby was very brown. So Carlene thought she would have kept that complexion and took her, right? Because the mother have more or less Indian genes in her, and she's short and dark skin. She was. You understand? Hmm. Let me see now. So that's one inbox. Let me go to the other inbox. Because is more than one person that message me, hold on. Let me go to my other inbox here. Because I want to make sure I've told you guys everything that needs to be told. Yes, apparently Karen lived in Tower Street. So that is the community that we are representing, really. And that baby was never legally adopted. That there is no paperwork. Hmm. No, sir. Mighty God of Daniel. And the day that it happened, she had gone out looking for money to buy sugar for the baby and was sitting down on the corner when she drove up and found her. The baby was apparently the third child of the 6 kids. Both parents are now deceased. Hmm. Have mercy, God. It's tragic. It's tragic. And on the TikTok post, the daughter actually wrote, them threaten my mother, so what expect for happen. She a go back down. Yeah. So now at the right time for tell the truth. Right. So that is what the daughter is saying. Her mother was threatened. So you see, either way you take it in the right. Me sorry. Me can't feel bad about talking about this because I know say someone that don't want me do and say, Lord, you should have not talk about it. You should have just keep it. No. No, my spirit no rest well when it comes to Karen and how it was handled. It just don't rest well. It just sounds so wrong to me, right? You can't just take a child like that. You just cannot. You have to go through processes. And it has to be legal and it cannot be forced. It cannot be forced. Poor people love them picnic too. Okay. They may be struggling to look after their kids. But does that still give anybody the right to just come and take? Come on, man. It no works so. Are there any pics of the biological dad before he died? Hold on. Let me take a look and see what I've got here because I've got a few pictures, but I'm not sure if this is the dad or if this was the Christine of the baby or what. You understand? So hold on there. I'm gonna show you all the pictures that I have that I took from that same TikTok page. All right. So this is when she passed. So she passed in February 2013, right? So that's obviously from her funeral program or something. Hold on there. That a me a cook. Me name mean for sure that. Me name mean for sure me a cook. Hold on. That's for the vlog, not for here, you silly. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm gonna download it onto this. I want to show you this picture of this man, but I don't know if this man is I don't know if the man is the person, and I don't want to make an assumption that it's this person. But if somebody in the comments are from the community, Una can tell me if this is the dad or not. Right? That is all I can say. Una tell me if is this the dad or not the dad. Right? So let me go. Yeah. So all right. So see the picture here. You tell me, is this the dad? Here we go. Yeah, it's all over TikTok. I saw a guy that I followed. He spoke about a few days ago. Exactly. It's all over TikTok. It's all over TikTok. And it's already reached on YouTube as well. So does anyone in the comments know who this gentleman is? Who this is? This is clearly a picture that was added to the funeral program. And there's a baby here. There is she, and there's this man. But I don't know if this man was the father of this child or if this was just a pastor doing the christening or anything like that. Look how beautiful she was. Really nice lady. God no. That mother passed away broken. That's a disgrace. Yeah. Yes, it is. Rasta lifestyle diary. It is. And you see, people are more willing to prioritize financial gain than anything else, right? And we all know that without money you can't really survive. But hello, so what? The other sister them not survive, them not live. Something wrong with them? You see what I'm saying? Is it to be assumed that coming out of poverty means that you're condemned for the rest of your life? That you can't become anything, you can't come out to be anything? Is it to be assumed that that is the likely outcome of your life? Okay, it may be harder, but it may not always end up like that. Some of the toughest people in our world come out of poverty and stayed in that poverty as children, and that is what refined them and made them great. You understand? That survival story pushed them with their ambitions and their drive. So we can't always look at things like that because we don't know how things could have turned out. Yes, it could have equally turned out badly if she had stayed. But I don't hear any of the other siblings speaking as though everything was such a disaster for them. That's what I'm wondering. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's who it is. I'm hoping that somebody knows. It's sad on all levels, of course. Somebody asked a question about, so what about her paperwork? Yes, how she managed to pull it off, etc., with doctor visits and schooling, etc. Where did she get her name and birth papers? It's fraud run, fraud run. And this is why I tell you, so it's gonna lead to an even bigger thing if this gets properly investigated. Anyhow, this get properly investigated, they're gonna lead to a bigger something, a bigger expose, because that them the paperwork they would have had to have been falsified for her to get access to certain identity documents. You understand? And is this just about saying, oh, identifying with Uptown and, I am not from the ghetto and this and that? No, for what? If I they say you come from a day, so no, what wrong with that? What wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? What a bam or goose cook, not all glitter is gold. Somebody's typing up here. That was my neighborhood. I am from Maiden Lane between Barry Street and Tower Street. Big up yourself, Rowena. Right? So yeah, I'm not certain if that's the biological father. That is the only picture that I have. Where there's a man with a baby. I don't know if that's Karen's dad, as somebody else also suggested. But all I know is that this woman, her story does deserve to be told. And with all due respect, if it is that Carlene had anything to do with this in this kind of manner, that's not okay. And there should be justice for Karen. It can't just be justice for the people who uno want it to be for. Justice is for everybody, really. It's for everybody, really. So at the end of the day, if I'm hearing a whole community in uproar, people who were friends of Karen, people who were relatives of Karen saying, but how is this allowed that this baby just be taken like that in exchange for goods? I saw we worth nothing. Why shouldn't they have an avenue to speak out? Hmm? If nothing goes on, make her come out and dispel it. Now simple fix that. To put her daughter mind at ease if nothing no goes up. Come out and dispel it. And show the world that nothing goes up. It's as simple as that. Anyway, guys, yes, to be poor is really a crime. Lala says, boy, sir, I hope that man in that photo is not one of those matters of a much older man whom impregnated a young girl. But no, my love. HDK, how do we know Karen was not forced to hand over the originals and then it got changed, money run there? So all them something there too, but me no want to say it if it. You understand? Because I didn't get that in the story and the stuff that I was told. We don't know. It is possible that documentation was handed over forcefully. Anything could have happened. Remember that Karen was going to talk. She was going to talk. So you can imagine how she passed, the emotional burden that she would have had. Hmm? To not even get to see that child ever again after making a tragic exchange that she wished that she could rewrite, change, fix, and was never allowed to. Hmm? That is quite serious. And it is a shame that it's had to get to that. You understand? But just like how they are making these claims that clearly are false, that don't make any sense, why should the truth be silenced? This is a space where we expose corruption. Big up on the nice clean self and drop the purple hearts. Justice for Karen Lancaster. It is full time that poor people's story get told too. It's not just about who have it. It's about the truth. This is your girl, Head Teacher K. Big up on a nice clean self. Thank you so much for attending A Touch of Class. And if you are new to the channel, please to make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. All right? Yes. All right. Big up on yourself. And don't forget to share this video. There's much to be revealed, no doubt, when family members feel brave enough to actually come forward. But in the meantime, the media is the only space where the revelations can take place. And bloggers like myself who are brave enough will speak on such topics. All right. Blessings in abundance. Purple Hat community. Love and leave you.